First of all, I would like to say that it is an honor to be here today, and I will speak in English if that's all right with everybody. And I come from the Institute for Strategic Research as my colleague before me, so the Ministry of Defense. Thank you very much. And today I will talk about the energy transition in the Western Balkans, the challenges and the road to sustainability. For most distinguished guests and esteemed colleagues, I would like to talk about the time of global energy shifts and growing environmental challenges, and the region of the Western Balkans finds itself at a critical juncture. The transition to a sustainable energy system is not merely a technical or economic issue. It is a question of regional stability, economic resilience, and social justice. Our energy systems must evolve to reduce dependence on fossil fuels, align with the European Green Deal, and pave way for a greener, more sustainable future. The Green Agenda for the Western Balkans, supported by the European Union under the Instrument for Pre-Accession Assistance and the Economic and Investment Plan, offers a structured framework to guide this transformation. Key initiatives such as renewable energy expansion, coal transition, and energy sufficiency under the renovation wave are critical in achieving this goal. One of the most pressing challenges in this region's continued reliance on fossil fuels. The energy mix in the Western Balkan remains heavily dominated by coal, which not only harms the environment, but also limits its economic diversification. Transitioning away from fossil fuels requires substantial investments, policy reforms, and a clear strategic vision. The region remains heavily reliant on coal for production, continuing to act as a severe air pollution. This air pollution not only endangers public health, but also hampers prospects for the European Union membership, as adherence to a stricter emission standards is a prerequisite for accession. Despite pledges to reduce emissions, tangible progress has been limited, and economic constraints pose a significant barrier to transitioning away from coal. Another significant challenge lies in the institutional framework. Many countries in the region face regulatory and administrative obstacles that slow down the adoption of renewable energy projects and hinder integration with the European energy markets. Strengthening governments and institutional capacities, as supported by the EU policy mechanisms, is an imperative for successful transition. Beyond institutional and economic barriers, we must also acknowledge the social dimension of energy transition. The shift to a low-carbon economy will impact thousands of workers and communities historically dependent on fossil fuel industries. The EU's Just Transition Initiative is a key mechanism designed to mitigate these social and economic impacts, ensuring that no one is left behind. Investing in reskilling programs, supporting affected communities, and implementing inclusive policies are essential steps in this process. The transition away from the coal in the Western Balkan remains a critical component of regional energy and environmental policies, particularly in the context of the Just Transition Fund. According to the Bankwatch Network report, there is a 6 coal phase-out scenario that was analyzed, incorporating various weighings for allocation criteria to account for uncertainties and assess the impact of different design parameters on fund distribution. The key findings of this analysis highlights the importance of climate ambition and strategic planning in determining each country's share of the fund. Serbia benefits the most from an early coal phase-out, out of 5 out of 6 scenarios that were analyzed, receiving up to 45.43% of the Just Transition Fund. Bosnia and Herzegovina could receive up to 34% of the fund, surpassing Serbia's share if it phases out coal by 2030, while Serbia remains coal-based electricity models until 2050 and 2040, respectively. North Macedonia's commitment to a 2027 coal phase-out date enables it to claim 13% of the fund, nearly double of the 7.36 it would receive if it extended its dependence on coal until 2050. Montenegro could nearly triple its allocation to 3.95 of the fund by retiring its single coal plant, currently operating above legal emission limits. The shift toward a low-carbon economy necessitates a focus on social justice, ensuring that workers and communities dependent on fossil fuel industries are not left behind. However, the development of green jobs in the Western Balkans has been slow. The region's economic constraints are delayed by the lack of implementation of the national energy and climate plans. that have been hindered the creation of sustainable employment opportunities in renewable energy sectors. For instance, as of December 2024, Serbia has been the only country that has adopted the National Energy and Climate Plan, while other countries lagged, reflecting a lack of political will and strategic planning essential for fostering green job growth. But no country can achieve energy transition in isolation. Regional cooperation is crucial in optimizing energy production, enhancing grid connectivity, and fostering cross-border investments in renewable energy. Strengthening energy networks and market integration will contribute to energy security, affordability, resilience, and against external shocks. It is very important that we emphasize three factors that are that should be taken into account when it comes to the transition of the Western Balkans. That is the need for institutional strengthening, enhancing regulatory frameworks, streamlining permitting processes, and fostering investor confidence that are essential for a more dynamic energy market. Public and private investment in renewables, mobilizing financial resources for solar, wind, and hydroelectric projects will accelerate the region's transition toward green energy sources, aligning with the EU-funded programs under the Instrument for Pre-Accession Assistance. And most importantly, the social inclusivity. Energy transition must be fair and inclusive, ensuring that vulnerable communities receive adequate support through reskilling programs and economic diversification initiatives, as promoted in the Just Transition Mechanism. A good example of practice is the social inclusivity that the Polish coal region provided in 2020 and ensured that those affected by the transition are socially included, as well as repurposing the post-industrial and post-mining regions with new environmental purposes in 2020. The Western Balkan has a unique opportunity to redefine its energy landscape, strengthen its economies, and enhance regional cooperation through a well-structured and inclusive energy transition. With significant EU support through the Green Agenda and targeted funding under the IPA, we have tools necessary to make the transition both achievable and sustainable. However, this journey requires investment, cooperation, and commitment to a shared future. The decisions we make today will determine the sustainability of our region and for generations to come. A just transition to a green economy is not only an environmental necessity, but also a social imperative. By prioritizing equity, economic security, and workforce empowerment, the Western Balkans can turn the energy transition into an opportunity for sustainable development and social processes. Thank you very much.